fucking around. Welcome back to another vlog with myself, as always, Alex Connor. And today I want to talk to you about the one thing that you should definitely incorporate in your morning routine. And as you've already probably seen and guessed, it is a morning cold shower. But why? Why should you incorporate this in your morning routine, you ask? Well, I've been doing it now for about 12 months, or just under, in fact. And what inspired me to do it was actually just reading a lot of morning routines from a lot of successful people. So I started looking at what people, and when we say success, again, let's define it. Success, not just in the financial sphere, but I'm talking in the health realms, in the holistic realms as well. So they've got good health, good relationships, things are going well from the ground up, and yes, they've got their finances in order. They're generally productive, positive people putting out quality content, creating a positive impact. So that's what I mean by success in a bit of a synopsis. And I started looking through all the things that most successful people do. And one of the things that most successful people do is have these cold showers in the morning. So I started to look into it, and I thought, well, initially it must just be to wake up. So Tony Robbins, he goes into something like, and don't quote me, like to change state, right? Because if you're cold, or you have like a cold plunge pool or something which shocks your system, it changes your state, it changes your attitude, it shocks you out of the mood or the state that you're actually in. So I thought, okay, well, that's kind of good. Maybe I should try that. And then some people said, it gives you a little bit more energy, it invigorates you, it turns you on, it switches you up for the day, and you're very present in the moment. And then I was aware of Wim Hof. Now, if you don't know who Wim Hof is the Iceman. So he's the guy who's completed amazing feats of endurance in the cold. So he's done things like barefoot marathons in the cold, in the snow. He's climbed to a height of Everest just wearing shorts, and he's done lots of other crazy shit like that. And I'd wanted to read his book for a long time. I'd read a few podcasts, I'd listened to some of his things, and he talks about the cold and how he uses it to get into a meditative state and how it actually improves the immune system. And a lot of people used to think he was a bit crazy back in the day, and I'm sure some people still do, but he has a lot of science now to back up his methodologies and everything that he actually does. So I thought, hey, let me give this a go. Now, initially it was very hard to take these cold showers, especially in winter. And you start off, even with a bit of cold exposure, you might even just do your limbs, your hands, your feet. But if you can try and just get into a cold shower, or even the first step is going from a hot to then go cold at the end, and then slowly building up the time. One of the things that I've recently taken from How to Become the Iceman, the book, which is partnered with one of his students, Justin Rosales, and I'll put the book on the screen here, is that you don't want to force it. It's like training. Just like when we train a muscle group in the gym, you can't just go and put 100 kilos on the bar. You've got to start with the bar and then build your way up. And it's the same with the cold exposure. You've got to start small and then build it up over time. So anyway, I started doing these cold showers, and I would just start with, at the end of the showers, turning it cold, and then incrementally just getting into cold showers, and then, you can have a bit of warm and then make it colder and colder, and you stay under longer and longer. And initially I didn't really see a difference. It just sort of shocked me and woke me up because it was very cold and I was very present. But I didn't mind that because it got me prepared for the day, and I was coming out of comp prep at the time, or was just in comp prep, so it was a really good way to just alert me in the morning, because as you know, you can be very low on energy before the old coffee hits you. And then after about 6 to 8 weeks, I started to notice a bit of a difference. I started to notice that it made me warmer, homeostasis. So for example, the body's reaction to a stress or a stimuli, and then it doing the opposite. So for example, when we get warm, we sweat, the body's natural remedy to try and cool us down and cool the skin. So I started feeling a bit warm, and I started feeling really energetic, and I started to get conditioned to it. I started to feel like I could withstand the cold a lot more, and I just had more energy. I couldn't really put my finger on it. Anyway, after now finally reading this book almost, a year later, because I had a few other books I was reading at the time, well, the first part is that the nerve endings in the skin, just like our muscles, can be trained, can be strengthened. And this is part of the reason why Wim goes into how it can, improve your immune system, and how you can fight off bugs and colds and flus and all sorts of, injuries and complications and viruses and diseases in the body. But you have to first control the mind, and the cold is a tool to use that. And there's also a meditation that goes with it. So there's these breathing techniques, which I've just started doing, which I'll update you on when I've been doing them long enough. Now, it can sound a bit woo-woo, but again, it is all backed up by a lot of evidence. And at the end of the day, it's something that you're not going to hurt yourself with. So it's free, well, I say hurt yourself. If you go out and stand in the cold snow and get hypothermia, then that's stupid. But again, doing it sensibly, it's something that just takes a bit of time, commitment, and dedication, and understanding these principles to actually improve your immunity. So he went into the book and he talked about how, for example, again, you strengthen the nerve endings, you increase your immunity because you become more present, your ability to deal with the cold, to deal with stress and stimulus, but also the cold brings you very present. It's really hard to focus on anything else when you're getting battered with cold water. Try it tomorrow morning and you'll know what I'm talking about. It can be quite nice in the summer months here in Australia too, as a side note. However, I digress. So he talks about that in the book, and he talks about the breathing techniques and getting into this meditative state, and how the cold again puts you in the state where you can focus on one thing, because again, you're in the cold, you're very present, you're very alert. It allows you to push out anything else and start to really focus and become aware of your body. And over time, Wim has done studies in his book where he's been injected with viruses and he's been able to really focus and push those viruses out, and he describes it as a way of being very aware of all his bodily functions and being able to focus in on that one area that perhaps is cold or is getting attacked, and he's able to push and remedy that out by being able to focus and control via using the cold. But again, it takes quite a bit of time to do. However, I believe Wim's got a course where he teaches people to do it in like a week. I don't know, that'd be something I'd love to do in the future. I think it would be a valuable skill to have, and I think there'd be a lot of positives to take away regardless of the outcome, because a lot of the time, again, it's about these basic human principles and getting back in touch with nature. So I do highly recommend the book for those of you who would like to improve your well-being and perhaps want to find some hacks, if you like, and perhaps finding something productive to your morning routine. So for me, at the very least, it adds a bit of structure to my day. I get up, I make my bed, I read some affirmations, or I read, these my goals. I make sure I'm aware of them. They're very much in my subconscious. It's what I like to do. It doesn't take long. I get a cold shower, I dry off, I generally brush my teeth. I was doing it with my left hand for a while, and I've sort of refined that. And then I'll start with my gratitude and my journaling for the day and the three main targets that I've got to do, the most important things. And then I will move on from there, do a bit of education, and then I can get on with the rest of my day. So serve yourself before you serve others. Look after yourself first, like CPR, like on an airplane where the mask drops. Always look after yourself first, because if you can't look after yourself, you can't look after your loved ones or your peers or your clients or your business or anything else. So it's actually, we've got it all backwards, and by looking after yourself, you're able to then go ahead in your day and look after everyone else and put yourself forward and give yourself over with more energy and rigor, because you've sorted yourself out first. And it's the same with an evening routine as well, and maybe I'll do a separate video on that and perhaps break it down a little bit more in some longer videos. But this one, I just wanted to, again, keep it pretty specific to why you should incorporate this in your morning routine. I think for those of you who are entrepreneurial, and if you're here, you want to improve your health, your well-being, your fitness, your lifestyle, I think you're going to get a lot out of it. Stick with it, guys. It's hard at first. Build it into your routine. It's a great way to start the day. It'll switch you on. There's physiological benefits too, and if you want to take it to that next level, pair it with the breathing and the meditation techniques. Meditation doesn't have to be like we think it is. Meditation is just getting into a state of relaxation where you're truly present. That can be riding a bike, racing a car, can be out surfing, can be sitting down, relaxing, listening to music, whatever it is for you. The cold can definitely help you do it. It's a teacher within itself, or as Wim says, the cold, your warm friend. So I encourage you to check that out, guys. If you've got any questions or queries, as always, put them in the comments below. I really appreciate your support. The channel is growing. It's still very small by many standards, but hey, from great things, small things, or from small things, great things grow. Got that one completely totaled. It's the end of the day, forgive me. And remember to subscribe for more. We've got weekly videos. I've got my podcasts with some amazing talented peers and practitioners, and there's more every single week. And we're going to be doing more vlogs as well, as I've aforementioned. And again, the Academy, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Head over to Fearless Training United now. pop your email in and get started. Become your own trainer. Start learning the fundamental principles so you can ask better questions and not waste money and not be frustrated, and actually take control of the way you want to look and feel in a way that's sustainable, flexible, and enjoyable. Because it's got to be those things. I always hammer that home, guys, because if it's not those things, you're not going to want to do it. So thank you for all your support once again. Lots of exciting things coming. I'm going to keep delivering the goods over here and trying to improve things as best I can for you and to help people, again, achieve their body composition goals in a smarter way. So, as always, team, until next time, you already know it, stay fearless.